Have you been wondering about potentially writing a book? Maybe you've been inspired to write one. Maybe someone you know has written one and you've kind of been wondering about it. Maybe you've had a couple of doubts. Maybe you don't believe that your story deserves to be heard. The story deserves to be heard, and there are ways to get it done. And I'm here to help you get it done. The Spring Forward Writers Retreat is coming up March 14th to 16th in Orlando, Florida. So be sure to go to springforwardretreat.com to sign up and get your spot. But we're going through the process. We're going to lead you all the way from start to finish on how to get your book done, how to ideate, how to set up your outline, and how to create the content for your book in as little time as possible. We are shortening the distance between your idea and your fully completed manuscript. By the end of the weekend, you will come away as an author with your completed manuscript. And you'll be coming away with the next steps that you need to take to become a best-selling author. Not just a published author, but a best-selling author. So again, be sure to check out springforwardretreat.com for more information.
Hey, and I want to speak to those people like Karl that never thought about writing or never thought about becoming an author. Like, if you are hearing my voice and that's any part of you believes that, like, again, this is one of these thoughts that I want you to take it, ball it up and toss it away. And the reason I'm saying that is, I mean, you just heard it tangibly. Melissa saying, Karl, because of what you did, I'm doing more. He's like, as I'm talking to you right now, he just started going down his list. Like, I got this, that. He's like, right now as I'm talking, he listed at least, no exaggeration, at least 8 or 9 things he listed. Because I remember him getting almost a 10 on his hands. Wow. And these were all like major business things or things that are happening. And it's just like, I was kind of sitting there like, oh, whoa, yeah, okay, that's a lot. And he said, you haven't yet accepted that this is your life. And I was like, break that down.
Yeah.
He's like, there's a part of you, and please hear what I'm saying, going back to the transactional versus transformational. He's like, there's a part of you. And in my language, I said to him, yeah, as soon as I get this, I need to get 2 or 3 more editors, or, as soon as I get this system in place, it'll free me up. And he was like, yeah, you don't get it yet. And I was like, what do you mean? So we're talking accountability now. He's like, yeah, you don't get that this is your life, Karl. You've built a life that's going to always pull and require a lot of you. It's a high standard. But there's nothing that's going to come in. Not saying that we're not going to get better systems and we're not going to get more efficient and all that. But there's not a point in your life for the foreseeable future that now all of a sudden you have nothing to pull on you. Let me say it like that.
Yeah.
There's no time in your life for the next, like, let's just be obvious. Our podcast goes out weekly.
Yep.
We got a Patreon community. If you're not in Patreon, please join. Right? We got a Patreon community that we're putting content in, I'm talking about multiple times a week. Our church happens weekly. We're putting out content from that weekly as well as a podcast from that. So notice this is all weekly.
Wow.
So just think about it from a perspective of like, we're not saying we're only doing this for 2024, we're doing it through 2027. No, they're weekly unless we die. And quiet as kept with AI around, I don't know if we ever die now. Like we'll recreate ourselves, right? But I'm just looking at it from the perspective of like, oh my gosh, like I got so many things going on week after week after week. And he was like, yes. Now accept that this is your life. And it doesn't have to be pressure. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be anything other than a blessing because you're fulfilling purpose. Look at that shift. Reframe.
That's good.
So when you talk about accountability, like even in my very conversations, looking like it, and it's not just accountability and like you got to work out or you got to. No, it's accountability in my conversation. It's like, whoa. Hey, no. I need you to reframe how you're looking at life, Karl. You're looking at it as this destination, transactional thing. And I know that's not who you are. I know that's not what you want. So I'm going to help you reframe this conversation so you now see it as, what a blessing that I'm responsible for 4, 5, 6 weekly things. Holy cow. Like, man. What a role God has blessed me with to be able to take this information that we have and distribute it to the world. Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So just think about those two thoughts. Like, yo, I got 4 or 5 things to get out this week. That thought, that the energy that comes with that feels crushing. Like I feel literally just saying it, I feel my shoulders. Whereas I can say, do you understand that the last, like I want to say the last sermon that I put up for Eric like 2-3 days ago is almost at 20,000 views right now? Like, and the impact that it's going to have is going to change our lives. It's going to change the world. Like that's in my hands. Watch this. Before my shoulders were going down, like I'm watching my body. Now my shoulders are going up. Like that is incredible. Like we have such an opportunity. So I'm just showing you, even in my physiology just now, that conversation with CJ has changed my physiology, my thought process, like everything. So without accountability, like, or imagine the other conversation CJ and I could have had, like, oh yeah, you got that. Oh man, yeah, me too. I got this. I got to finish this. Oh my gosh, yeah, we got to finish this. Like we both leave the conversation feeling like trash.
Drained. You'll be drained.
Like, exhausted. So I'm just saying, like accountability, like you said, even if it's one single person that you know, every time you call that person, they're going to talk about God. They're going to pray. They're going to tell you about working out. They're going to tell you about all the transformational things and not the transactional things. And if you don't have that in your life, I'm saying get into some community, get into some relationship, because that thing is that would be the magic bullet, I would say. Because like, think about it, Melissa, the reason we are stuck where we are is because we're talking to the same people, most of us.
That.
Right? It's just real. We're having some of the same conversations. Like these conversations have results. Like our thoughts have results. These conversations lead to thoughts, which lead to emotions, which lead to actions, which lead to the results that you have now. So yeah, the accountability part is humongous. It's a must-have.
Absolutely. Thank you for talking about that. 'Cause that's super important, y'all. Like who you're around determines how far you'll go too, and how far you're willing to push yourself. Because like I'm someone who's, as you guys know, I'm in the UOU mastermind for a little over a year now, and leaps and bounds, man. Leaps and bounds, Karl, from where I was before that. And to your earlier point about confidence building, mine didn't necessarily come from changing my physical activity per se.
Yeah.
But being a part of Mastermind, I did wake up earlier because our weekday calls are 6 a.m. But it was being in the community that built my confidence up, because these are all people that are God-loving, God-fearing people. All the coaches are incredible. They're all God-loving, God-fearing. They're pushing us and holding us accountable. But the thing for me, Karl, was prior to joining the mastermind, I would question my decision-making, question my ability to function at the highest level. Because of course, as ground crew, that's what we do. Like we do everything as, you know, at the highest level, and we learn things quickly. But I was starting to question whether or not I could keep up, so to speak. And being in the mastermind with all these high quality people, high earning people, and being able to still give value the way that I would normally give it. I didn't accelerate anything. I didn't change anything about the way I showed up. And they were blessed by the way I was showing up. So that was God's way of reminding me there is nothing wrong with you. Like you just needed to be in a different environment. And being in the right community can increase your confidence, in addition to the physical changes that Karl mentioned. You know what I mean? Like that's a game changer as well. Like moving your body does wonders for you. And of course the grounding, it works wonders.
I literally, Melissa, last week, it was funny. So last Friday, so if I don't work out in the morning now, it's tougher during the day because my body's gotten used to that. Right. But I want to say last Friday, I didn't work out in the morning, but I was like, oh no, a workout has to happen today. I'm not going out of this week without this workout. It has to happen. So when I tell you it was painful, I just decided I'm going to work out. So I didn't go to the gym. I got some, just some dumbbells and stuff downstairs. So I went downstairs, and of course it was legs and abs, leg day. So shout out to Lisa. Lisa's like, yep, legs. Yep. So I did this workout, and I took my son down with me, and I'm talking about like he was in this. And again, we're in Michigan, guys, so we're not seeing sun for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. Like it's gray and ugly, and it affects you, right?
It does.
So my son was just in this kind of low frequency, low energy mood. I was like, hey, come on, let's go work out. short version of the story, like I almost punished that boy after. When I tell you the workout was grueling, I felt terrible with every rep, with every set, with everything. I was like, oh, dragging myself through it, but we completed it. I got this like steam room downstairs. I made him do the steam room with me, relax, you know, just kind of,
Nice.
we just in there chilling, talking. And then when we were done, I was like, all right, now go get a cold shower. He did everything I said. We did the cold showers. Now, for me, cool. I'm kind of used to doing it. I just kind of chilled out. It's Friday evening. He was on 150. That boy was running through, like screaming, hollering. I was like, yo, what just happened? Like in my mind, it's like, did you eat sugar? What happened? And I was like, oh no, he just worked out. Them endorphins are real. Like
Yes.
he does not even know what happened to his body. The boy, Melissa, he couldn't whisper. Like I was like, hey, we're in the same room, dude. Chill out. And he just energy, just. And I was like, that all came from just going downstairs and working out. And we didn't do it. May have been 30, 40 minutes. It wasn't like this long, you know, drawn out. No, we just did, like I said, a couple some lunges, that kind of stuff. And then some some ab stuff. And it completely transformed the rest of our night. Literally. So I'm telling people, that's one of the, accountability. We got so much gems in here. Just apply these, y'all. You ain't got to listen to another podcast.
Nope.
You just got to apply what you just heard. And I'm telling you, you're going to see and feel a difference almost immediately. Get the accountability. If you don't feel great right now, I'm talking about pause this as I'm saying it. Pause now and go get you 20 minutes on a treadmill, a walk, a something. Come back and listen to what I'm saying. Get a cold shower. You cannot be angry in a cold shower. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
You can't be mad in a cold shower. You can't be upset in a cold shower. I'm talking about when that water hits you, all them thoughts are gone. It's just like, and I come out of it every time. Melissa, and now I'm as I'm speaking to you, it's like negative degrees here in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So the cold is a little different when I say cold. So I haven't gone like before summer months, I crank it all the way over. Now I go like 75% of the dial. But some days I'm coming out of there numb. But when I tell you, like, I come out of there laughing every single time, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. But your body feels so alert and energized. And it's just like, I'm telling you, you do these things and it will make a difference today. There's no excuse. You showering anyway. Right? Like I could understand, I ain't got no time to work out. I hear you. I don't believe it, but cool. You're going to shower. Let's just add just turn the dial a little over and habit stack these things. And I'm guaranteeing you about to have a better year this year than you had just off of these small activities.
Absolutely. And then just to wrap things up, y'all, in case you did not know, Karl is the author.
Come on.
Of Moving Past Potential. So and the book is amazing. Okay. I'm not just holding the book up. Like I actually did the audiobook experience, Karl. So thank you for doing that. Like that was,
yes, ma'am.
That made life easier for me. And I listened to it on a day when I wasn't even feeling well. And it was like maybe 3 hours of listening. I completely finished the book. Like it was great. And it is Karl reading, y'all. So you're hearing his words with his voice. Absolutely. So go to movingpastpotential.com if you guys want a copy of that. And I mean, he talks about a lot of what he shared there, maybe not necessarily the grounding, but a lot of what he shared there, a lot of the principles are universal and they're in the book. So, movingpastpotential.com. And that website does offer you an opportunity to join a community. So get in there. If you enjoyed this interview with Karl, that kind of talking is happening every week in the GC community. So be sure to join him. And, thank you again for taking that leap and doing the live event, Karl, because my retreat that's coming up, the Spring Forward Writers Retreat, was born out of that one. I
was just going to ask you about that. It sounds like I said, I heard that you are doing something coming up soon. So
yes, absolutely. So March 14th to 16th, y'all, if you're interested in that, springforwardretreat.com, make sure you sign up. And I mean, Karl is an author, you know what I mean? I'm an author, and you'll be hearing from others who have done the same and folks who know how to get you to the bestsellers lists, you know what I mean? So
Hey, and I want to speak to those people like Karl that never thought about writing or never thought about becoming an author. Like if you were hearing my voice and that's any part of you believes that, like, again, this is one of these thoughts that I want you to take it, ball it up, and toss it away. And the reason I'm saying that is, I mean, you just heard it tangibly. Melissa saying, Karl, because of what you did, I'm doing more, right? I always thought that my story was not important. Like, I didn't have, again, negativity gets, like just blown way out. It seems so more attractive, right? Let's just call it what it is. We watch stuff on the news or, even the shows that we watch. It's just negativity is attractive to us. And God had to show me that, like, yeah, there's some people that have that story and I'm giving them that story for a reason, but that doesn't excuse you from using the story that I gave you. And I'm saying for each of us, your story is your story. There's nobody else on the planet that has your story. Watch this. I used to joke and say, well, I ain't got nothing. I grew up in a 2-parent home in a beautiful Caribbean island, got my education, got my wife, got 2 beautiful kids that are, it's like, you got it. Really? So then why did I go through so much frustration and so much overwhelm? Like, if my life were that perfect, right?
Exactly.
If it were, I shouldn't have had any of those issues. So again, good or bad, whatever your story is, it's your story. And then here's the kicker. Here's the really important part. Your story is for you to help others. It's not just for you. We're part of like a community. Like, we're in a world. None of us are isolated where we don't deal with other people. So for me personally, it's just such a warm thing to be able to look. It's like, okay, let me think about it from a parental perspective. If I see my kids doing something, I could say, I remember, hey guys, this probably is not the best way to do that. I know what you're looking to get. You could go this route. It's the exact same thing that God has blessed us with. It's, hey, I was raised in what you would consider a perfect environment, but I still had these challenges because of the way I looked at life, because of the way I thought, because of this. Hey, you don't have to go this route. Whether your life is perfect, not perfect, whatever. If you're having these thoughts, here's some strategies. So I'm using my life story to help. And what blew my mind, Melissa, is that, and obviously, Guy's a part of the mastermind, but Guy he identifies as a pilot in the assessment. And Guy was like, oh no, your book was for me, Karl. And I was like, in my mind, like, there was no, I just wrote Karl's story. I really truthfully didn't have a plan. I figured it would connect with the ground screw, the high S personality more because that's who I am. But when a pilot looked at me and said, oh, no, that was for me. Like, I got so much, like, that changed my life. I was like, oh, okay, God, I see what you did. Your story, the way you process things, there's somebody else that's going to go through or is going through exactly what you've gone through now. And I'll tell you this way, and I'll be quiet after this, Melissa. All right, get ready. You're not used to hearing Karl talk like this, but Eric is who said it first, so I could blame him. You're selfish. You're selfish because you have the ability to help somebody else, and you don't want to take the time to literally put pen to paper and just share your story. Or if it's not pen to paper, if it should be, but if it's not, go on social media, send an email, however you want to communicate. There's somebody out there that needs the information that you have, that has a similar story, that has similar thought patterns, and you can help them and you don't have to be, watch this. Everything you're hearing from me is Karl in progress. It's not like Karl mastered everything and now I'm looking back. No. I got to step 2 and I'm like, hey, y'all, I see you at step 1. Here's how we get to step 2 real quick. Hey, I just found step 3. Let's do this. We could get, so I'm challenging everybody, stop being selfish. I need you to embrace who you are, who God designed you to be. And I need you to put your content out. Like I said, it could be a book. Don't minimize it. Yes, you don't have to be a perfect writer. We have editors. We got people. We got their things in place to help you. It's your story that's the important part that nobody else can tell. So short disclaimer, Melissa, but I just want to encourage people out there, like, that is so needed in the world right now because everybody's isolated.
Yes.
No, we need to know the strategies that work. Hey, if this is working for you, it could work for me. So yeah, it's on us to share those things.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And that's actually a perfect like loudspeaker kind of cosign on the retreat. And one of the things I've been sharing is you have the opportunity with this retreat to have a life-changing experience, not only for yourself as the author, but for anyone who touches your book. Your life can change off of one book. There are people, literally millions now, who have read Joyce Meyer's Battlefield of the Mind. Like she's authored over 100 books at this point in her lifetime, but that one is her tent pole. Like millions of people have read that one and have changed their lives. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Jamal talked about that. That literally changed his life because it changed his perspective on money. All it takes is one book, and your book could be that catalyst for somebody.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And Karl's book was a catalyst for me. Like I read his and I was like, oh, I haven't written a story about my own life, but I felt the same way, Karl. I was like, oh, like who am I to tell anything about my life? My life is like, we as ground screw, our lives are boring because we don't like drama. We don't like confrontation. And yet your story was still extremely helpful, extremely helpful. So thank you for being obedient to the call. And if you have a book in you and you're watching this, be obedient to the call. Sign up for the retreat. Yes. All right, Karl, thank you so much for your time. I know you got to go. I appreciate you, and you are always welcome to come back.
Oh, hey, it's a pleasure. Again, I'm just getting past myself now, and any opportunity to just, help and be a blessing, like that's transformational. I'll end it with where I started. That's what God put me here for, transformation, to help facilitate that. So thank you, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.